Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. It's so greatly appreciated. Truly is. So we are going back down the Reddit rabbit hole with another story that looks like it's going to be another disturbing one. I, 22 female, my 27-year-old sister and her husband, 28-year-old male, came into my bedroom last night and something strange happened. I'm still very confused right now, so sorry if this post is all jumbled up. I've been staying at my sister's house lately. She lives 4 hours away, and I've been staying with her these last few nights. She lives with her husband of 4 years. I have a very good relationship with her, but her husband and I are not close at all. He's always very standoffish, and we never talk to each other. I've probably exchanged 5 words with him in the last 4 years. We tend to stay out of each other's way. This is especially bad considering the fact we see each other a lot. We're kind of a tight-knit family, so my sister and my parents and I are always around each other. At first, I thought this was simply his character, so I didn't take it personal. Then I realized he's actually quite warm and welcoming towards other people. He's all smiles and jokes when it comes to others, but he's never been nice to me. It's clear he just doesn't like me. I don't know what I did to him to deserve this, but I've accepted it, and honestly, I don't care. He was good to me on one occasion, though. One day I was swimming at the beach and scraped my arm against some sharp rocks. The wound wasn't terribly painful, but he used the first aid kit to treat it, and I felt a lot better. But this still didn't change our relationship. Anyway, my sister is well aware of the fact her husband and I are practically strangers to each other. Whenever I bring this up, mostly in a lighthearted way, she gets very irritated though. Now that I got that out of the way, I'll explain the issue. Last night I fell asleep around 2 a.m. A short while later, I was awoken by the feeling of somebody being on top of me. I opened my eyes and it was him. The room was dark, but I could see him thanks to the moonlight. What? I was very sleepy and confused and asked him what he was doing. He was staring at me and looked very sad and teary-eyed. He looked so sad that I thought somebody had died, and it freaked me out. He started touching my face, then put his hands on my throat. At this point, I tried to get him off of me, but I couldn't. He lightly slapped my face to make me stop and then started me slightly. It wasn't a strong choke, but definitely enough for me to feel some pressure. What? After a few seconds, his grip tightened and he leaned over like he was about to kiss me. He didn't though, and instead looked at me with a sad expression for an uncomfortably long time. I literally told him, "Get the fuck off of me or I'm going to scream." He sighed and got off of me. I locked the door and fell asleep soon. I was feeling more confused and shocked than scared. He seemed very emotional, and I'm struggling to understand what that was about. This morning, my sister was out jogging, and I found him in the kitchen. I asked him about last night, and he claims he doesn't remember a thing because he was drunk. Really? I call bullshit on that one. Big time. Bullshit. Maybe he was drunk, but I know that he remembers what happened. I told him that he was lying and he got angry. When I brought up the fact that he joked me, he said that I shouldn't make up stories like that and make my sister jealous because that's her favorite. TMI. Wow. I told him to never touch me again, and my sister came back just as I was leaving. A few minutes later, I heard them arguing, but I couldn't tell if it was about me. My sister hasn't spoken to me since, and I have the nagging feeling that she will tell me to leave. Well, if you have somewhere to go, then maybe you should leave. I'm wondering now, what should I do? Should I go ahead and tell my sister? Should I tell my parents? I've never been in a situation like this, and I have no idea how to handle it. Oh, right, you're very close to your parents. So absolutely, if nothing else, tell your parents, because I'm assuming you can go live with your parents if nothing else. It's just all very weird to me. I hope my post is clear enough, but I can answer some questions if you have any. I have a lot. I'm not close with my sister's husband. We hardly ever talk to each other, and he made it clear to me that he's not interested in being nice to me. I accepted this, and as a result, stay out of his way. Absolutely tell your sister and your parents. Do not be silent about what this creepy a-hole did to you. If you have any bruises or redness, take pictures and document. Yes, good call. I have no visible marks, and it didn't hurt, but I definitely take pics if there was redness. Get out ASAP. Is there anyone else you can stay with? Not in this city, no. I'm planning on leaving anyway and packed my stuff. Good. You tell your sister and make it clear how serious you view it. You never sleep there again, and preferably never visit again except to get your stuff. I'm quite apprehensive about telling her. She'll almost definitely blow up, and I feel like she'll get pissed at me. Why would she get pissed at you? You are giving into exactly what he wants if you don't tell her. You do realize that, right? Who cares if she's pissed? Her husband assaulted you. If she gets pissed at you, she is someone you do not need in your life. Facts. Okay. Update. First of all, I'm really grateful for all the advice I got on my original post. I know I may have seemed a bit too calm, but that's because it took me a while to process everything. Fortunately, I'm safe now. So, like I mentioned in the original post, I already planned on going back home after the incident and packed my stuff. I was at a local cafe when my sister called me and asked me where I was. We spoke for a bit, and she came to me after a short while. When she arrived, I started off by asking her if her husband used to sleepwalk when he was younger. I didn't want to jump into the topic straight away. She said that he used to do it, but that it hasn't happened that often anymore. He only sleepwalked once since they've been together. I started explaining to her what happened, and she was absolutely furious. She asked me why I didn't wake her up and that it was very dangerous. She went back to her house and insisted that I go with her to confront her husband. The whole time she was going absolutely crazy, yelling, cursing around the place, and frantically going through drawers. When he came later that evening, she verbally attacked him, and he swore that he doesn't remember anything at all because he was drunk. I've been drunk a lot of times. I call absolute bullshit on this. She asked him if he took any substances lately, and he started beating around the bush. She threw a bunch of prescription drugs on the table and asked him to explain. He said that he only uses them when he's stressed, and she got mad and asked him why he's suddenly stressed when I visit them. They started yelling at each other, and she said that she thought they were over this. She thought she could finally trust him, etc. He confessed that he took some drugs. I can't remember the names. And that he doesn't remember coming into my bedroom or doing anything to me. He insisted that he would never ever hurt me and has no reason to lie about something as serious as this. I said that when I told him to get off of me, he responded, so that would mean he was awake and conscious. After hesitating, he admitted that he dreamt he was choking me. I started crying, so he stopped. In real life, I wasn't crying though. I was just trying to get him off me and kicked him. He stated that he didn't hear me speak at all. He asked my sister if he wasn't being truthful, why would he tell her that he had a dream about me and admit something of that nature, since that would surely add fuel to the fire? Or you were looking for a way to explain things away. They were arguing, and my sister suddenly mentioned that she heard someone going to the bathroom at night and asked who it was. I said it wasn't me, but I heard him go after he left my bedroom. According to her, he is gone for an unusually long time and said that he doesn't even remember that. He brought up the fact that he used to do that when sleepwalking as a kid and didn't know that he still does. He turned to me and apologized for what he did and said he had no clue he was capable of doing that. My sister was very upset about the situation and started screaming at him. She said that he was a disgusting and obsessed perv and still hadn't changed after all these years. What does that mean, sister? What does that mean, sister? that she tried everything to make it work and became the perfect wife to keep him happy. She said a lot of stuff that was extremely awkward for me personally and completely changed my view on him. I've never seen her so furious and distraught. I know none of this is my fault, but I feel like I effed everything up. It just sucks being in this position. Long story short, they're separating now. Good. She packed her stuff as well and told him that she would be staying at our parents' place for a while. She's not really speaking to me as well, so that's that. Girl, this is not even kind of your fault. None of this. This whole situation sucks, and it feels like everything came crashing down so rapidly. There was no way I would ever foresee this. Either way, I feel safer now, and again, thanks for all the helpful comments. He still claims that he doesn't remember anything about that night. He was drunk and my sister found some drugs. He was hiding somewhere. They argued viciously and she was extremely upset. They're separating now and she's going to stay at my parents' place for a while. She hasn't told me directly, but while they were arguing, she was yelling that he was a disgusting fixation on. She hasn't told me directly, but while they were arguing, she was yelling that he has a disgusting fixation on me and that he's such a loser that he needs to deal with his emotions. He denied everything, of course, and she said, "Don't lie to me. I know about the shit you have saved on your computer, etc. I just assumed they're pictures of me." She said that she was stuck in a marriage with a person who is obsessed with someone else. It's weird to hear this because he literally treated me like a stranger all these years. Yes, exactly. I was drawing the conclusion that he was probably obsessed with her or something along those lines. But I feel like there's definitely missing context from the posts. I figured that was the case, that hubby had an unhealthy obsession with her. Are there healthy obsessions? Probably not. Also, they were married for 4 years, so he's probably been obsessed with her since she was a minor teenager. Yeah, I saw this coming from the first paragraph and was disappointed to find out it was in fact the case. I don't know why the wife would stay from the moment she discovered his obsession with her sister, let alone being a minor. If I were this woman, I'd take my sister to the police and report or to the hospital or wherever she needs to go. I'm not forcing her to the police because the police can be awful to victims of SA. And then I'm getting an RO and everything possible to get us both safe. My God, this is crazy. Even when we might describe someone's interest in trains as an obsession, there's still healthy and unhealthy ways that they can be expressed. Healthy has a collection of model trains, goes train spotting in their spare time, goes through the appropriate process and training to get a job on railways. Unhealthy trespasses on train tracks to get a closer look at trains, infrastructures, and brings the whole network to a standstill, or steals a tram because they want to have a go at driving it. Call is coming from inside the relationship. Why the F did she allow her sister to stay with her knowing this? Without telling her, no less. That makes it even worse. This could have ended much worse. That's what I don't understand. Why you knew about this. You knew about this. You knew about this and you let your sister stay there. What if he, oh my God, what if he really, really really hurt her or that's very, very, oh my God. And the fact that she's scared to go to you, why was she scared to go to you? That's what kind of bothers me also. Why is your sister scared to go to you to tell you something like this? Am I the a-hole? My fiance is victim blaming me for my essay because I cheated on him. Well, no. Right off the bat, no, because, all right, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that, but no, it could never be your fault. Me, 24, and my fiance, 27, have been engaged for around a year, and I've been doing a ton of wedding planning, and so has he. I started losing a lot of hair from the stress, and he knows this, so he suggested that I could relax and he'd handle everything. My friends invited me to the club when they heard I was free for once, and I agreed. I did not tell my fiance initially where I was going. but I assumed he'd guess where I was going because where else would you be going and revealing clothes at night? I know this might be perceived as disrespectful, but he has always been okay whenever I dress like this, and I usually dress modest anyway. He asked me where I was going. I told him I was going to the club with my friends, and he just said, okay. My friends picked me up. We headed to the club, and that entire time, I did have a couple drinks, and I tried to keep myself in check because I am an engaged woman, but my friends had me drink more than I intended. A man approached me whilst I was by myself in a booth, and he was trying to pursue me. I told him that I was engaged and to please leave me alone. He grabbed my hand to see my ring before he proceeded to reach his hand up my dress and forced my hands on him. I immediately pushed the fucking lunatic and called my husband to pick me up since my friends were nowhere to be seen. Well, first of all, why are your friends leaving you? And I'm not really sure where you cheated on him. Like that, is this the story? He came to pick me up and I was frantically explaining to him what happened, only for him to pull over and yell in an accusing tone, "What?" at me? Obviously, I didn't think he was mad at me because I think my fiance would be the last person to be mad at me for something that wasn't my fault. I repeated myself and he started driving again and kept responding to everything I said with, "But why did you let him touch you?" I was in disbelief and told him I didn't let him touch me, and I told him to leave me alone. He tells me that I shouldn't have gone to the club wearing what I wore, started slut-shaming me, all of my friends who went, or slut-shaming me and all my friends who went with me, and questioned why I didn't do more to protect myself. I cussed him out because what the F? Then he tells me that he is the one who got cheated on and that I have no right to be angry with him because he was only concerned for my lack of self-awareness. Then started to make his last point about how going to the club was already kind of cheating and I should have consulted with him first. I am seriously considering calling off the engagement, but we have been together 4 years and he has never done anything to hurt me. We rarely fight and he's almost always very gentle with me. This is the first time he has reacted this way towards me. I definitely saw him being aggressive with other people that weren't me a few times. I don't know if I should wait and talk to him in the morning because giving him the benefit of the doubt, maybe he's just as tired as I was from wedding planning and isn't thinking rationally. Girlfriend. Do you guys talk about politics at all? Feminism? Did you read him as the type of guy who would have this reaction or belief system? If this is out of the ordinary, maybe he misunderstood what happened. Other than that, girl, if this is how he thinks, you don't want to be with a man like that. Imagine the kinds of ways he would parent your daughter. As always though, things are always more complicated. If you really love him, maybe try couples therapy. Maybe call it a loss. I don't recall ever having any definitive conversations about politics. All I know is that the majority of his family are conservative, but he doesn't have a strong political stance. At least not that I know of, but he knows where I stand politically. I am absolutely not a conservative, might I add. And he has never objected to it. He has always been very respectful towards me and doesn't really engage with other women at all, if that says anything. And yes, maybe he misheard me, but I did repeat myself multiple times verbatim that the man had SA'd me and he wasn't listening. I'll consider couples therapy. Not sure how it'll work in this situation since this is the only troubling issue we've ever had. Call off the engagement. Yes, I'm with you. This behavior only ever escalates and you're very, very lucky to have seen it now before you're legally tied to him. He has just shown you that he doesn't give a single shit when someone has actively harmed you. You called him for help and he turned on you. What if you are assaulted again? We all hope it won't happen, but we know the statistics. What if you have a daughter and she is assaulted? What if you have a son? What will he be taught is acceptable? This man is not a safe person to be married to. That's my stance. He will probably apologize and be all lovey-dovey after this. But you've seen underneath the mask now. Those attitudes are dark and they run deep. Oh dear, apparently we need to do it again. You are free. You aren't a property, engaged or not. You can dress however the F you want and go wherever the F you want. You don't have to ask any kind of approval to nobody unless you're still a child. You don't get SA. A man SA'd you. Your clothes didn't get you SA'd. A fucking stupid, violent, and horrible man SA'd you. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever stupid people with stupid insecurities and views can answer here because you're a bad partner, you're clubbing. Yes, that is called fucking liberty. And if other people don't know how to go clubbing without cheating on their partner, that's not your fault and doesn't define what you can and cannot do. To be certain, we are all very clear on that. To all of the women who think this way. Next, to your future ex, I hope. There's no fatigue nor misunderstanding here. It's a way of thinking. Or he is a POS, and he is, believe me, because of how he reacts. Or is he normal, caring man? And of course, he won't be mad at you, but at the other POS who SA'd you, and at your friends who left you there alone. Like I said, how are you leaving your friend alone? But in no way, shape, or form could an intelligent man be mad at you for what happened. Please call off the engagement. Respect yourself because right now you are the only one apparently who can do that. Your partner, friends, and this fucking assaulting man. None of them did. Please respect yourself by calling off this engagement or find a decent man. Update 1. When my fiance left home early this morning, I asked him where he went and he still has the same reaction to my essay he did the night it happened. I'm very confused on what to do and if I'm doing right by considering calling off the engagement. Yes. Some people are saying I'm overreacting and others are telling me I'm not. Last photo is literally the dress I wore to the club since people have questioned what I was wearing, which I don't understand how that's at all pertinent to understanding that I was SA'd. I stand by the fact that I did not cheat on him, nor was I being secretive about where I was going. I didn't mention it, and I should have, but when he asked, I told him. Simple as that. You can't just be okay with me going to the club and then come pick me up, find out about a man touching me without consent, and say that you're going to the club is in fact cheating. No, it's not. We are also very honest people, so if he did have an issue with it, when I told him I was going to the club, he would have said so, and then there was nothing to suggest that he didn't want me going. There's nothing wrong with you going to a club. Let's be very clear about that. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. All right, transcripts of the text messages between her and her fiance. About switching to garden roses. I need help. Taking a break as you did. Okay, and that's fine, but it feels like you are doing this out of pettiness. Whether I am or not, can you blame me? My soon-to-be wife got effed up at the club and allows another man to touch her. Being cheated on before my wedding doesn't feel great. I did not cheat on you. I should be able to dress how I want, and you have always been fine with it. I didn't tell you initially where I was going, but I did tell you before I left. You had every second to tell me that you didn't want me to go, and I would have stayed. And you know that. I let you go because I didn't think you would go and practically F another man. She didn't. She's getting me pissed off. Another man touched you, and that is cheating. Okay, so is the fact that I went to the club or the fact that I let another man touch me? But she didn't let another man touch her, by the way. Tell me now, because this is contradicting whatever you said to me the other night. I can't believe you are still hung up on the idea that I cheated on you. Why is the fact that I cheated on you more important than my well-being? How can you, the man I love and trust with my deepest vulnerabilities, fixate on your wounded pride instead of wrapping your arms around me, instead of wrapping your arms around the fact that I was violated? Please wake up. I'm furious, but mostly heartbroken that you don't care to consider what happened to me. The whole point of you going to the club was to relax. I let you relax because I care about your well-being. There's no room to care now when you took my consideration and went and cheated on. She didn't cheat on you. I get mad. I apologize that it happened to you the way it did, but you go to the club dressed provocatively and don't expect a man to try to F you. Bullshit. What? What? He's victim blaming this poor girl. If you had an ounce of respect for me, then you would apologize and don't you dare apologize. And we can go from there. Absolutely not. What you need to do is you need to pack your shit and you just get the fuck out of there, is what you need to do. I didn't dress a certain way to be S8. That sounds absurd and extremely disgusting of you to say. I dressed how I did because you nor I have ever had an issue with it, and I did it for myself, not for anyone else. I'm sorry, but I've been feeling very ugly these past few months, given that I'm watching my figure for our wedding and losing a ton of hair on top of that. So yes, I did go to the club dressed like how most girls would going to a club because it made me feel pretty. All the excuses in the world, but an apology. You don't need to apologize. Don't you dare apologize. Where's your apology? Where's your apology? I did apologize. I am sorry a man like that approached you, but it's not right to blame everyone but yourself. Oh my God. Oh my God. You are going to have children with a man who talks like this to you. You might have a daughter with a man who doesn't respect women. If you don't love yourself enough to leave him, please at least don't bring children into this. What will he say to your daughter to shame her? This is not a man. A man should be comforting you, but of course you know that. You put up with this disrespect before your marriage. It will only get worse after marriage. Sincerely, a Gen X woman who knows how stuff turns out. OP, you will have a small, controlled life if you marry this man. And over time, it will grow smaller and smaller, and you will forget what independence, support, and confidence feels like. You will feel trapped, and it will be harder to leave. End it now. This is not a person you want to spend your precious life with. You want someone who will help you grow and embrace experiences, not keep you isolated and insecure. Every single day, I read posts on this sub written by women who are dating villains. Reading this and comprehending that you're in a relationship with this man and still arguing about your SA is insane. If your friend was SA'd and her boyfriend said that shit to her, would you be supportive of their relationship? Absolutely not. Would you believe she's safe? Clearly, this guy's view of SA is warped. Who's to say he won't R you while you're sleeping, saying you can't R your partner? Good point. OP and women in general need to wake the fuck up and dump these people. You deserve better. You deserve respect. This man does not respect you or empathize with you. If you had a daughter with him and would he blame her? Also, you'd stay home if he didn't want you to go to the club to have fun. Please. He's controlling you whether you want to admit it or not. It's actually insane to me how this is even a question. You are young. Dump him. Staying in relationships with men like this lets them know that it's okay. And that's how we get young men who are raised the same way. Young men and boys who think it's okay to SA girls in their classes or men who SA women in the club. Please do better for yourself. Update 2. Same day, 3 hours later. Hi everyone, thank you so much for the advice, and I think I will be following through with calling off the engagement. But before I do, I need advice on where to even begin. We've sunk about $12,000 so far into planning. Okay, well, it's the biggest $12,000 lesson you'll ever learn. Out of an original $35,000 budget, with a rough split of 60% from us and 40% from our families, mostly non-refundable deposits that are killing me right now. Breakdown of what we paid. Who cares? Take the loss. Venue, $4,500 deposit. Wedding dress, custom alterations already done, $2,800 total, with $1,200 paid up front. Photographer, $2,000 retainer. Florist and invitations, $1,200 combined. Catering, tasting, and planner consults, $1,500 in fees and deposits. The wedding was for 120 guests, so we've Also got non-refundable travel booked for 20 out-of-town family members. Flights and hotels totaling $3,000, but that's on hold. Should I immediately contact each vendor to negotiate partial refunds or offer to transfer deposits to another couple? For resellable stuff like the dresser decor, we have $800 in custom signage. What's the best platform? Facebook Marketplace, Stillway, or eBay? Do it all. Do them all. Put it on all of them. What do you care? Listen, if you have to swallow $12,000, then you lose $12,000. It costs a lot more for a lawyer. Honey, I promise you. And how do I price it without undervaluing? Do I need a lawyer to review contracts for shared expenses with my ex? We're not married, but some was joint. Or is small claims court worth it for anything under 5K? Yes. Or reach out to the vendors. Sometimes vendors will give you partial refunds or they'll give you vouchers. Also, any tips for breaking this to our families without a blow up? Why are you trying to avoid a blow up? My parents are out $2,000 already and super invested emotionally. I am very lost, so any stories or advice from anyone who's been through this would mean the world. I really hope that these are not excuses for you to save face and go through with this wedding. Like, I really, really hope that these are not excuses for you to try to save face and go through with this wedding. I'm proud of you. Please, please move forward with breaking off this engagement. Even if you don't get 1 cent back, that's been spent. It's worth it. And please remember that the wedding is off because of him, not because of you. This is his fault. Definitely call each vendor and try to negotiate refunds. I don't know if it will work, but if you're comfortable explaining what happened, they may have some sympathy and be flexible on their policies. I would write to both families and tell them what happened. That way, you could say everything you want to say without getting cut off or pulled into an emotional exchange. Make sure you're explicit in saying this is not up for debate. Your ex-fiance's response to your essay is not something that you can get over or work through. The decision is final. You'll do everything you can to get their money refunded. You're so grateful for the love and support they were giving for your wedding, and you know they will understand that you have no choice but to cancel the wedding now. It's a matter of disrespecting them or not trying hard enough to mend fences with your ex. This is a deal breaker. I hope most of them will understand. In this day and age, it should be obvious to them. Unfortunately, you may get pushback from some. Do not let this make you falter. This will be a painful time, and unfortunately, there's no way around that. But I promise you, with time, you will get through it and past it. You are doing the right thing. Also, I'm an event producer. Here's my recs. Immediately contact all vendors and explain the situation with facts, not emotionally charged accusations, etc. You want to appeal to their empathetic side, not try to get someone to choose sides. Not that you will, but this advice is from experience. You are trying to get out of a contract, so this may not get you far, but come across gutted and sad, not angry. Simply state. Unfortunately, I made the decision to end our relationship. Without going into details, I was SA'd this week, and my fiance blamed me. So I've decided to call off the wedding. Can you help me cancel XYZ and discuss financial implications? For the venue, review your contract. You may be able to get your deposit back if the date ends up getting booked once your date opens back up. They may have a wait list. You can even offer your date up on socials and offer to cover $1,500, 10% of their overall fee. This way you still get $3,000 back. The new client gets a discount and the venue is still whole. If the venue tries to keep the deposit no matter what, keep an eye on the venue on your date. You have a claim in small claims court if you could prove they rebooked your date as long as they didn't rebook at a loss. It's a double dip thing. They were made whole. Good call on that one. Photographer, florist, catering, planner. Use the same concept as above. Florist and caterer haven't ordered product yet. You should be able to make an appeal with what happened and hopefully get a full refund. Photographer could be harder since they tend to be smaller, 1 to 2 person businesses. So try to help them rebook. Offer to help at the very least. Dress. You'll be eating the majority of the costs here because you've already had it altered, unless it was very minor alterations. The great thing is that it hasn't been worn yet, and you're selling while it's still on trend, 2025 versus 2019, etc. Get it on the market now. Also, talk to the places that bought it. They'd be great resources on the best way to sell it. They won't be upset to help you. It's altered. Invites. Grab your besties and have a burn party. Legalities. You're not married, so no contract. Keep lawyers out unless absolutely necessary. It sounds like deposits have already been paid. So, after speaking with all vendors you have deposits with, get a total, then make decisions. It's highly unlikely that family is going to ask for money back, but offer making any refunds extremely equitable. Pay back family first, then yourselves. If his family gave $1,200, 10% of $12K, and your family $2,400, 20% of $12K, but you've only received $1,200 in refunds, then give his family $400 and yours $800. Let them turn the money down, but make the offer. This is you being the bigger person and will cause less hassle and a clean break in the long run. If he's a dick, then track everything and go after him for what he owes in small claims. You may not get the results you'd like, but bring your receipts, signed and contract and money out, and see what happens. I wish you all the luck in the future. This is shitty now, but you're making the right call. Learn from this. Figure out why you chose this guy and don't do it again. You deserve better. That was fabulously said. Fabulously said. Final update, September 17, 2025, 4 days later. This is my final update as I don't want to prolong this discussion on Reddit. I informed my ex-fiance of my decision to end our engagement. He was angry, but didn't try to harm me, so I'm safe for those who were concerned. About 3 or 4 days ago, I told him I was questioning our engagement. His initial response was, "Are you joking?" And he ridiculed me until I confirmed I was calling it off yesterday. He brought up the money spent on the wedding and questioned how we were going to handle those who contributed and what we were going to tell them. I assured him I'd take care of it. He then ranted about throwing away 4 years, saying he didn't care who was the victim anymore and that he'd never make such a decision because he loved me, ending with, "This is fucking crazy." No, what's fucking crazy is the way you reacted to your fiance, the person you're supposed to love and protect. That's what's crazy. I'll address some questions I'm receiving, and yes, those who asked with less than kind intentions and provide more context. The essay occurred 2 weeks ago on a Saturday. The first person I told was my sister the day after because I couldn't face my fiance, nor could I bear it alone. I did not personally tell the rest of my family, but my sister passed it on to them for me. My mom called to discuss it and was supportive, though I do feel like there's still some disappointment from her and others. People were also accusing me of infidelity and oh my God. And saying I wasn't telling the full story because I didn't detail these and questioned whether I reported it or not. My focus was on my engagement, not the incident itself. No, I didn't report. I was frantic and just wanted to get home. I repeatedly told the man to leave me alone before he touched me, but it happened very quickly. I froze and pushed him off once I processed what was happening and left immediately. I didn't think to report it in the moment because I couldn't stand another second more in there. I will try to return to the club to request footage when I'm in a better headspace because I don't want this happening to other women. And I'm baffled people think that that's what I want. Absolutely not. Here's the missing context I was hounded for. I didn't plan going to the club. My friends who are single women suggested it after my ex-fiance told me I could go out and relax, saying he'd handle all the wedding planning for the day. I was alone at the booth because they wanted to dance while I didn't. I haven't contacted vendors yet, but I'm surprised and grateful for the logistical advice and support offered. If you replied under that comment, I likely saw it and you didn't go unnoticed. Finally, This decision wasn't based solely on Reddit. I was thinking it before I came and told my story here, and Reddit only validated that I wasn't overreacting and encouraged me. I'm aware strangers don't fully grasp my situation to make such a huge decision for me. I know that to those in DMs calling me stupid or worse, what? Who also seem to be mostly men. Your disgusting misogynistic words won't change my mind. This is my decision. Thank you. Good girl. What do you care? So, it was just touching and nothing else, or was it more physical and you didn't go into much detail? Neither situation is right, and it's not cheating, and you are right to call it off. Like you don't even have to be dressed a certain way to be. He is out of touch with reality, and you deserve better. I will 100% go and press charges. For your curiosity, I have said multiple times how exactly I was S8, and I guess that's up to you to interpret it the way you want. But personally, I was confused and terrified. It was not just touching to me. I was violated. I was also coherent and wasn't drunk to the point where I couldn't make up my own version of events and dismiss whatever cheating anyone thinks I did. No, you didn't cheat. This is crazy. Can you have someone close to you call the club about saving footage? That's what I was going to say. A lot of businesses delete footage fairly often. You shouldn't have to deal with it yet if you don't want to, but hoping someone can ask them to hold on to it. I'm glad you yes, that is absolutely, I was going to say that. This was not something I thought of, so I will try finding out if someone can do this for me. Thank you. The first person in my family I told after my ex was my sister is what I meant. I knew that was going to come up. Obviously, I told him first because my last two posts have already said that. See, they're trying to call her a liar. I knew that was going to come up. Obviously, I told him first because my last two posts have already said that, and he was the one who picked me up. I no longer want to face my ex because he wasn't listening to what I was saying and repeatedly calling me a cheater. Is that clarification enough? I'm very well relieved to hear you are well, both physically and mentally. There are certain posts that haunt me, and yours is one of them. I hope that you request the footage rather quickly from the club, and older systems record over older footage. You have made a sound decision and sound strong in your process. Don't forget some individual therapy for the SA and trauma, but also for the end of the engagement. Learning a bit more about your former relationship may divulge clues for you to avoid going forward into new relationships. Best of luck to you. I'm proud of you. This had to be very difficult. My marriage ended in large part because of my husband's reaction to an essay. It feels like such a massive betrayal. The person you love and want to feel safe with no longer feels safe in the very circumstance that you need them to make you feel safe. I would really strongly and gently suggest that you seek out a therapist. This is heavy stuff, and it does have heavy implications in the future relationships if you don't deal with it. I'm wishing you all the best. Take good care of yourself. Wow, that was rough. And meanwhile, anybody telling her that this is her fault is psychotic. And I'm very happy that you're not in my life. If you guys are still here, thank you. I love you, and I appreciate you so very much. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't yet, and you feel so inclined to, because it really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. And until next time, please stay safe out there.